Hello my fellow oddities, welcome to a new video. Today we are continuing the series where I take a Mortal Kombat character and rank all of their costumes throughout every game. Today we will be doing this with Ermac. Now Ermac actually has a pretty good track record when it comes to costumes. The only ones I really don't like are the ones at the very bottom of the list, which you'll see. Before we get started with the list, let's reiterate the rules for the people who haven't seen the previous videos. The first rule is that I will only be taking designs from Mortal Kombat games, which means no comics, movies, or cartoons, and no other games like Ermac wasn't in NBA Jam, so I can't make a joke about it this time. Dang it! The second rule is that I will not be taking any repeated or reused designs, which means no recreated classic costumes from the later games, and also nothing like Mortal Kombat Armageddon reusing both of Ermac's costumes from Mortal Kombat Deception, which... wow, Mortal Kombat Armageddon was real! The third rule is for Mortal Kombat 11 only, so it's irrelevant. And the fourth and final rule is that I will not be taking any designs from Mortal Kombat Mobile. Why? Well, you guys know by now. Because it's Mortal Kombat Mobile, I've stretched the joke pretty thin by now. I'm sorry. Next time I'll think of something else. So without further ado, Ermac has 12 designs throughout the entire series, so let's get to it. At number 12, the bottom of the list, we have the Mortal Kombat X Pharaoh design. Now, like I've said with previous characters in the series, it's pretty hard to actually rank these type of designs because, like, they're nothing like the original character, but they're not supposed to be, so, like, what do I do with them? I'm just gonna put it at the bottom here because, like, I think it's really ugly in this game, so, like, here at the bottom. Mortal Kombat X Ermac skin's just not it. And you'll see that with the next placement. Number 11, I have the Mortal Kombat X tournament design. Now, like number 12, I'm not gonna talk too much about this one because I wanna save most of the problems that I have with Mortal Kombat X Ermac for his default design. But, yes, this one is even worse than his default design because, like, look at it. Why does he have so much skin showing? Like, the whole thing with Ermac in the later games, like starting with Deception, is that he is the ninja that shows the least skin possible. It's only really on his face. Other than that, there's nothing. So why the heck does he have so much skin showing? And it's of course the pale, zombie-like skin that's just super ugly. It might as well be brown because, like, it's so desaturated. And also, this is supposed to be his Mortal Kombat 9 design. Like, the tournament skins in this game are supposed to be recreations of the Mortal Kombat 9 skins. Kano, it's his Mortal Kombat 9 design. Jax, Mortal Kombat 9. Katana, Mortal Kombat 9. The most blatantly obvious one, Scorpion, Mortal Kombat 9. But here's Ermac with something just completely different from what he was wearing in Mortal Kombat 9. But anyways, my main problems are coming. Number 10, his Mortal Kombat X default outfit. This is disgusting and, like, the worst default outfit I could have ever thought of for Ermac. First of all, like I said with the previous costume, I know I said this probably with the previous videos, but this has to be the worst example of Mortal Kombat X desaturating a costume. Also, I hate how much of his face is showing. Yes, Ermac had parts of his face showing in previous costumes, but it was like minimal. It was just like this part of his eyes. But now he has like his mouth showing, and you can see his ugly teeth and his ugly, pale zombie skin, and it's just like, it's gross. They took the whole mummy thing with Ermac and just took it way too far. He didn't even really look like a mummy in previous games. This is the first one where they were like, oh, let's just make him full-on zombified thing, and it's, oh god. 2015, I saw the trailer for Ermac in this game, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to see this. Like, Mortal Kombat 9, Ermac looks sick. What does he look like now? And I was just so disappointed. But yeah, you know what? I'm about done talking about bad costumes. Let's get on to some of the good ones. At number 9, we have the Mortal Kombat Deception alternate costume. Now this outfit is pretty decent, but it could have been higher on the list if two things were added. First of all, like I said with the Mortal Kombat X tournament design, I don't like when Ermac shows too much skin, and this one definitely shows too much with his arms and more of his face showing. So if you covered those parts up, it would be a little better. And the second thing is that I think he should have had the wraps that he has on his default outfit. And that trend started in this game, so I think they should have carried it over to his alternate design, and this could have been a really cool, classic, modern redesign. Now at number 8, I have the Mortal Kombat 11 Ermac design. Now you guys might be saying, wait a second, Ermac was not playable in Mortal Kombat 11. Why is he on this list? Well, did I ever say anything about the character having to be playable in the rules? Did you ever hear that? Didn't think so. So, here's Ermac. Now, I think this design is good in concept, but its execution wasn't 100% for me. I do like the idea of the wraps being on the mask instead of it just, like, being the mask, but the problem with this costume is that it is way too over-designed. Like, just cut off Ermac's head and cut off his legs, and just look at how much is going on just on his torso area. Like, what the heck? Just this alone is too much. He could have been naked on all other parts of his body, and it would still be over-designed. And it gets even weirder when you think about Ermac isn't even a playable character in this game. He literally shows up for like a few seconds in the crypt. That's it. Why? Why did you waste your time, NetherRealm, designing this character so much when he's not even playable and shows up for one scene in the crypt? But I guess that's why I don't dislike this costume even more, just because, like, it's not a playable costume, so, like, whatever. It exists, and the concept was good, so, like, here it is at number 8. At number 7, I have the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 Ermac design, which was the first one ever, and I don't really like it because I don't really like the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 designs. Like I've said, I don't really like these designs because they just look too skin-tight, spandexy, like superhero kind of design, and I just don't like that. I much prefer them actually looking like ninjas as opposed to superhero ninjas, like Power Rangers. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say about these classic designs because I've done 3 other videos where I've talked about them, just different colors, so like, what more is there for me to say? Speaking of costumes that I've already talked about before, just different colors, at number 6, I have the Crimson Ermac design, which is basically the Gold Scorpion and Blue Steel Sub-Zero designs, but red. This is the only Mortal Kombat X Ermac design that I actually like. Like, even the UMK3 Ermac design from this game looks super ugly, and I hate it, but this costume is pretty okay because the red is actually, well, red. I don't really know why Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Ermac all got these designs, but Reptile didn't. I'm going to guess it's some problem with the character models, and the same reason why his Mortal Kombat 3 design is, like, way different from the other characters' Mortal Kombat 3 designs, but whatever. But yeah, like I said in previous videos, I really like this design. I think it's really cool how accurate it is to the actual action figure. I do wish the red was a bit more bright, but that's just too much to ask for from Mortal Kombat X, isn't it? But I do like how in certain variations this costume has the glowing green eyes. I think that looks really cool. Now moving on to the top 5, at number 5, I have the Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monk's Ermac design. Now from this point on the list, with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, all of these designs are pretty much the same thing, just with like minor differences, but like, here's my ranking anyway. Now the only thing that differentiates this Shaolin Monk's designs to higher ones on the list is the fact that it has like these gold edges to it, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think I've said this in previous videos before, but I prefer when Mortal Kombat characters have 2 colors on their designs and that's it. With the exception of like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat 11 having red to add to his yellow and black, I really don't like when characters have more unnecessary colors than just the 2 that I personally think are needed. And this costume technically has 4 different colors: red, black, gold, and green. Now I can excuse the green because that's the color of his powers, but the gold is a bit too much in my opinion. And that's all that really keeps this design from being higher on the list. At number 4, I have the Mortal Kombat 9 alternate design. Now, a lot of people really like this costume, and while I don't like it nearly as much as some people do, I do think it's a pretty neat outfit, and I can see why a lot of people love it. I don't really have any problems with it. I think the mask is a little long looking, but like, that's just nitpicking. I do think it's interesting how this is kind of a precursor to the MKX costume. It's very similar in style. But of course, this outfit is way better than the Mortal Kombat X one. But yeah, like I said, no problems with this costume. I just prefer a more traditional Ermac look. And at number 3, I have the Mortal Kombat 1 Ermac design. Now, Ermac was not in Mortal Kombat 1, but I'm talking about the Mortal Kombat 9 version of the skin. It is a bit weird how Ermac got a Mortal Kombat 1 costume when he wasn't in the game. He should have had like, I don't know, a UMK3 outfit, but whatever. Now, I love the Mortal Kombat 1 outfits. I've said this in previous videos, but I just love how simplistic they are. It's kind of their strength. They're like the most simplistic outfits out of the whole series because they were the first ones, and somehow it looks even better than a lot of the stuff we get nowadays. But yeah, like I said, Mortal Kombat 1 design, absolutely amazing. I don't think I could ever put a classic MK1 ninja design below like the top 5. Now at number 2, the runner-up for the best Ermac costume, I have the Mortal Kombat 9 design. Now this is the design that got me into Ermac. I've said this in previous videos, but Ermac used to be my favorite character in all of Mortal Kombat, and it's mostly because of this design. I love how mysterious and menacing he looks, and I think the mummy design here is just infinitely better than anything from Mortal Kombat X. I love all the green gems that are on his forehead, on his belt, and also on his knees. I just think that looks really cool, and I think that kind of green gem jewel look for Ermac looks really cool. And I do not have any sort of problems with this design at all. I think it's amazing, but I do think the number one spot is just a little bit better. At number one, there's only one design left, so you probably know which one it is. I have the Mortal Kombat Deception Ermac design. This is the one that revolutionized Ermac's look. And in my opinion, it still holds up to this day as the best Ermac design. I love how much red is on the costume. I love all the little symbols that he has on his chest area, and of course, the wraps that just made his character even more iconic and at the same time even more mysterious. And I also love how in this design it shows how Ermac in the 3D era wasn't exactly a bad guy. In fact, he worked for the heroes most of the time. In a lot of Ermac designs, especially Mortal Kombat X and even Mortal Kombat 9, I think it's pretty obvious this guy's a bad guy, but this design actually shows how he's not entirely evil. Like, I know it's not too different from his MK9 design, but you can even see in just how much of his face is actually showing. In this design, you can see a lot more of his facial expressions, but in Mortal Kombat 9, it's almost completely covered up. Which in that design made the character look more menacing and evil, but with this design, he looks a bit more friendly, I guess. But at the same time, he's still intimidating as a fighter, and that's just like the coolest thing to me. But yeah, this is my favorite Ermac design. In my opinion, it's the best one, just objectively, and you're gonna have to do a lot to make a design that's better than this. Like, this is the one that revolutionized the character's design and kind of formed what he would be in future games. Like, this is such an important costume, and that's why it's number one on this list. And that is it for the Ermac designs ranked. The next character I'll be covering in this series is Liu Kang. So with that being said, make sure you're subscribed and have the notification bell turned on, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like. And with that being said, that's it for this video, my fellow oddities. I'll see you next time.